Hi friends, hi friends, hi friends, how are you? Welcome to my Periscope. It is Thursday night and I am so excited to see everyone. Hi Priscilla, hi Jess, hi Lindsay, hello everybody, hey Jessica. It is Thursday night and I am so excited for all the information that I have to share tonight. I hope you are ready because we have a jam-packed evening together. Hello, hi Beth. Hello everybody. Let me know where you are watching from in the comments. Maybe if you are at a beach house or you are somewhere fabulous doing some relaxation. I hope you have your magnesium mocktail handy. I hope you are relaxing with your bunny slippers on. And hey Catherine, hello everyone. And if you are new around here, my name is Hillary LaMay and this is your welcome wagon to my Periscope channel. And this is broadcast number 210 of my Throw It Out Thursday series. And I am so excited to welcome you. We have a lot of catching up to do if you are brand new to watching this channel. Ooh, Lindsay is on her back patio in her new jungle because I made you do it. Hi Cecilia, hello, hi Angela. And I am a certified essential oil specialist. I'm an essential oil educator. I'm a platinum global team leader with doTERRA International. And Mother Nature has turned up the heat this summer. And for many of us, that means we are inundated with garden pests. And believe me when I tell you that we do not want them around here and they have got to go to the curb, as well as all those nasty chemicals. And so tonight we are focusing on something that many people don't think twice about, but it's improving the quality of their outdoor garden with essential oils and improving our own wellness in the process. Really fun, right? So I have brought some of the outdoors in for us tonight. I have this cute little propagation little piece of art that I found on Amazon, and this is a little clipping from a friend's garden that we visited, their beautiful pool and their outdoor oasis a couple weeks ago, and there's already roots sprouting, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little peek. There's some roots sprouting there, hopefully you can see that, and I love bringing the outside in. And if you've ever been to my home, you know that we love plants. We love using green as an accent color in our home. And so I love being able to take clippings from my outdoor plants and seeing not every one of them will like to propagate in water, but some of them do. And so this has been really fun to watch, and I have this in my office. And then a neighbor gave us a few succulents for Olivia to create a little succulent garden. And we have this in our front walkway. And so I wanted to share this with you because it's really doing well. This is about 2.5 months in, and these were little babies and it's already sprouting. Look at that sprout at the top of there. That was not there before. These are succulents. These really do best in an outdoor dry environment, so they are outside for the neighbors to enjoy, and I just thought this was really super fun. So we're gonna have it here for a few minutes as we are chatting so you can have something really nice and cute to look at as well. But we are really gonna be focusing on that outdoor garden. So last month's continuing education class was all about our houseplants and bringing the outdoors in. But this week we're talking all about the outdoor essentials and how we can use our essential oils to harness the ability to just get those nasty pests out of our garden. Hello, Lindsay, welcome. And it is part 2 of our Friends with Health Benefits series, because last month we talked about the health benefits of indoor plants, and there's a lot of health benefits with outdoor plants as well in gardening. And I love spoiling you to say thank you for being such an incredible community. And so I am giving away one of my favorite beginners gardening references because I want you to have information. And just like I give all my new customers the Essential Life book because I want you to know what to do with your oils, this has a whole section about gardening, and many of the recipes that I've curated tonight started from the Essential Life book. So there's a cool gardening section in there. But I also love making sure that you have other resources to use that I recommend, and this is great because it's just really basic and there's lots of color photos and diagrams, and so hopefully one of you is going to win this beautiful book. This is like a $24 book. It's really awesome, and you can get it on Amazon. So if you don't win and you want to snag a copy, just let me know and I can send you a link for it. But this is the beginner's gardening book, step by step, and it just covers so much. It covers things that we're just going to be scratching the surface about. And so this is awesome, and I can't wait to see who is going to win. So if you would like to enter, all you have to do is be on here live, comment, engage with me, share the dialogue, ask a question, whatever you might want to do, or head to Instagram and share your biggest challenge about outdoor gardening, your favorite joy about outdoor gardening, what your favorite plant is, if you are intimidated by outdoor gardening, any of the above. What do you struggle with most? I want to know everything. So participating and joining the dialogue gets you an entry into the giveaway. You can tag friends on Instagram, and as long as your entries are in by 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, you will be entered to win. And then tonight before 11 p.m. Eastern, I will share the winner. I'll put all the names into a randomizer app, and then I will share that on Instagram. And so I love carving out this cozy time for us once a month where we can just learn together and become label reading gangsters and be the best plant parents that we can be, right? And we are going to help make the outside of your home reflect your unique personality with plants that are healthy and that are happy using our essential oils. Those are like two of my favorite things together. And so that's why I want to share with you, because when we're using our oils, we're kicking chemicals to the curb, we're kicking toxic habits to the curb, and we're opting for a healthier lifestyle and those lifestyle choices. And that means that why are we going to spend all this money and time and emotional labor and intention eliminating chemicals from our laundry soap and from our cleaning products and from our cosmetics and things like that if we're just going to use toxic products in our garden, right? It doesn't really align. It doesn't make sense. It kind of clashes a little bit, and it doesn't maybe feel good. And so we want those things to be running parallel. So we want you to be aware of the things that you're using inside your home, inside your body, on the outside of your body, and then we want you to be aware of the things that you're bringing into the home that you're purchasing from the garden store or from wherever, that are going outside your home, that are going on the outside of your plants and all of that. So integrating oils into the outdoor landscape is really fun, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. And essential oils can help attract pollinators, which is really important. And so there's lots of helpful bug friends, and the oils can also help deter destructive pests that can jeopardize the health and the beauty of your plants and of your garden. So we seriously have a lot to cover, and believe me, again, when I tell you, it's a lot. So you can tap the three dots at the bottom of the screen to share this broadcast across your followers and with your friends, and then you can also tap the bottom of the screen and just give me a little heart, and it lets me know that you're having fun with me, that you're enjoying this education time, that we're connecting, and I feel your energy. I love it. I feel so just in a state of joy when we are live together and we get to interact and you get to ask questions and I get to participate along with you, because I'm learning too, and I love to share what I'm doing in my garden, what I'm doing in my home. That's what this is all about. I love just passing that along and paying it forward. And so if you miss anything, you can always catch the replay. You can head to YouTube and just keyword search my name, and you could subscribe so you don't miss anything, or you can binge watch and catch up on the other 209 Periscopes from the last 5 or so years. But you can ask questions, join the dialogue, comment during the broadcast, and I will do my absolute best to answer. I am in no way, shape, or form here to tell you that I am a gardening expert. Just like I never tell anyone that I am a essential oil expert. I am just a mom who finds these tools useful in her home, and I just am really loud about sharing it, maybe more so than others, but I'm not an expert, but I just love sharing with you the basic things that I have learned along the way. And you have so many incredible resources, I'm sure, in your community, in your family and friends, that between the two of us, we can hopefully help you feel really confident about your gardening. And tonight's Power Hour, again, is just going to be kind of scratching the surface, if you will, a little scratch of the surface, a little back rub, just a nice light touch of sprinkling in some gardening facts for you so that maybe it sparks you and you feel intrigued. Maybe you want to have a little container garden, maybe you want to create a garden bed or whatever that might be, but I would love for you to share with me if you feel inspired by these things after the broadcast is over, maybe a month from now, a week from now, next summer, whatever it might be. But I love being inspired by you and the things that you're doing in your home as well. So I would love for you to comment below if you like to garden or if you have any garden pests. One of our biggest garden pests is Japanese beetles, and I have been it has been like a full-time job for me getting these nasty beetles out of my hibiscus tree. And so my hibiscus tree is in like rehab mode right now, and I will chat with you a little bit in the later part of the Periscope about what I'm doing for that. But it's really a fun kind of trial and error thing, and so I love sharing with you some of the little tips and tricks that I've been able to find. So I'd love for you to share with me some of your trouble spots in your garden, and we can maybe chat about it together. So tonight's agenda, first we're going to be walking through a few of the health and environmental benefits of outdoor gardening. Then we're going to briefly chat about some basic fundamentals of outdoor gardening. And then we're going to get to blending. We're going to get into the test kitchen here and blend some basic garden care sprays that I have been experimenting with. And I hope that you find them helpful and fun, and I think it's going to be great. So your green thumb will be showing before you know it. Now accidentally, well, not really accidentally, I am wearing green nail polish, of course, on purpose, but someone pointed out to me, they're like, oh, you really have a green thumb. And yes, I do. It's my Zoya non-toxic nail polish in Tilda, because I always love an excuse to coordinate my nail polish with my theme. So, ooh, I just found a Japanese beetle on my cucumber plant. Can't wait to learn your tricks. Yes. Oh, do I have them up my sleeve? I have many tricks up my sleeve. Oh, and before I talk about a trick up my sleeve, I also wanted to introduce another one of my little plant friends. So this is, I didn't get to show you this on my last broadcast. Oh, by the way, my shorts are like very gardeny. My shorts are like this like tropical pattern. Anyway, not about my shorts, about the garden. But I didn't have this last month when we did our broadcast, but this is one of my outdoor succulents, and this is a string of bananas. And I think this is awesome. So we talked about string of pearls and string of hearts last time, but this is a string of bananas, and it's on my front porch, and holy moly, it is like really happy there. And also my planter matches my nails. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But this is really fun. And so when you go to the garden store, just a little tip, because we're totally off track here, but just a little sidebar tip. When you go to the garden store, sometimes it can be overwhelming. You think you need to get the biggest plant. But I would caution you, and I would recommend getting a little small starter plant. And you will never know how fast they grow. This one was like, has been growing like gangbusters. But I was able to clip a few and give some to a neighbor and put some in a little propagation vase, a little empty, 15 ml essential oil bottle, and see if it grows roots, and then I can share it with someone else. But how fun is this? I thought this was really fun. It's called String of Bananas because they look like little bananas. How totally adorable is this? And there's another one called String of Dolphins that I have on my porch on the other side, but how fun is this? So I'm gonna just set this little guy, this little plant friend, I'm just gonna set him right there so that he can be in the background for us tonight. And again, this is just a little clipping I took from a garden that we went to, a home of one of my father-in-law's clients, and he has a beautiful garden, and I asked if I could take a few clippings, and he said, absolutely, please do. So they've started to grow roots. For any of you that just joined a little bit late, look at all those roots. Hopefully with the reflection in the light you can see, but like all of those little corn silks are all brand new roots, and I thought that was really fun. And this little piece is from Amazon. It was like 15 bucks, but how fun is this? We love birds, we love plants, and so I thought it was a really cute little prop just to kind of share with you all tonight. But so, one of the most important questions that we want to ask ourselves before we kind of dig into this realm is, why are we creating an outdoor garden? So the same reasons that when people reach out to me and they want to get started with doTERRA and with essential oils, I want to find out why. What's your motivation? Why are you wanting to learn about oils? Why are you wanting to learn about these tools? And so it's the same thing. We want to understand. What's the purpose behind our interest, and then we can use that to harness for our benefit. So why do we want to create an outdoor garden? Well, just like some people like pink flamingos or like gnomes in their yard, I like to use plants to reflect our personality and to make our outdoor living space inviting. Not just to the Amazon delivery person who's here basically every day, sometimes twice, but just for our own selves. And when our neighbors are walking by, it's creating a sense of community and beauty. And there are so many benefits of outdoor gardening. So I'm going to talk to you just super quick about the top 5 health benefits of outdoor gardening, because we're laying the foundation, we're laying the groundwork, and then we're going to dig into all these other layers. So we're like peeling that onion back one layer at a time to understand the framework of what we're going to talk about. So top 5 health benefits. The first one, exposure to sunshine. Gardening outdoors increases your exposure to sunshine and vitamin D. Now, vitamin D increases your calcium level, which helps your bones and it helps your immune system. And a study that was done in Italy in 2014, published in the National Institute of Health website, found that exposure to sunlight helped adults achieve adequate vitamin D levels. Of course, we know that, right? But especially if you are normally having a job where you're indoors, which most of us have indoor jobs, especially during quarantine where our kids were doing distance learning indoors at home every day, and maybe we weren't making that effort to get out and get fresh air, whatever the case may be, gardening is a great way to get your sunshine in while pursuing a fun hobby. So this is something that you can involve the kids in, and of course all my Periscopes are rated G, so if you've got the kids nearby, snag them in with you, snuggle in, and they can enjoy this too. Hey Kaylin! They can enjoy this too because it's all about cultivating those habits, and those are habits that you can share with your family as well. All ages, there's no too young or too old to be gardening. Now, the second health benefit is it decreases your risk of dementia. Now, a 2006 study found that gardening could actually lower your risk of dementia by 36%, which is pretty incredible because you're making the environment more beautiful, you're helping your own health along the way. That's a total win. So researchers tracked more than 2,800 people over the age of 50 for 16 years, and they concluded that the physical activity, especially gardening, could reduce the incidence of dementia for future years. And so I just thought that was a really cool little anecdotal nugget of information there, because I know sometimes it might seem like, oh, I don't know how to garden, that's above my head, I can't do that, I can't learn, but you really can. At any age you can learn. You're never too old to learn, you're never too young to start gardening, and again, just getting some really basic tools like a simple book and Googling or talking to someone at your garden center, or maybe even if your neighbor has a beautiful garden, you can ask them for a few little tips. Yeah, you just got to start somewhere, just like with oils. We start with a few basics and then you can scale up from there. And that's why like all my Periscopes are about applying. It's the application of oils, using them for all these different things so that you can see how it really can fit into every area of your life. Also, the third one is fresh air. I've got a little itch. Fresh air. So spending time outdoors in fresh air, of course, is going to increase your oxygen intake, and that's going to increase your serotonin. And when your serotonin is increased, you're a happier person. So you can see where this is going, right? That especially during quarantine times, you've probably maybe been surprised or not to see lots of neighbors out working on their garden, maybe lots of cars at Home Depot or at the garden center, because people are finding a lot of peace and relaxation in gardening. Now, Lindsay's sharing with us her neighbor is amazing at gardening and still constantly checks gardening books out from the library. Yes, oh, that is a great tip, Linz. The library has so many cool books. And if you have, someone commented today on Instagram about orchids. You can go to the library and get 10 books on orchids. You can go to the library and get books on outdoor gardening, on indoor gardening, on container gardening, on vegetable gardening. It's really, really amazing how many resources you have. So it's just about your desire and maybe figuring out, do we want to learn? Are we willing to invest the time and the energy to dig into gardening? Because it's a really great stress reliever. Also, that's my next one. That's number 4 for our top 5 health benefits. Number 4 is stress relief. So it's very grounding. It's very calming to be connected to Mother Nature. Take your shoes off, ground yourself, put your feet onto the grass, put your feet on the soil. Now, don't forget to spray yourself with TerraShield first so that you aren't the bug buffet. But enjoy the soothing effects of the earth. It is like really, really incredible to just tap back into that and unplug and feel the earth beneath your feet and in between your toes. Now, there was a study in the Netherlands that was cited by CNN, and they suggested that gardening fights stress even better than other hobbies. So there were participants that completed a stressful task, and they were told to read inside or go outdoors and garden for 30 minutes. And the gardening group, they reported better mood afterwards. And then their blood tests were done. Their blood tests showed lower levels of stress hormone, the stress hormone cortisol. So again, these are like little anecdotal nuggets that I'm just sharing with you because I want you to make this connection. I want you to see the connection between these simple hobbies that you can do at home. Even if you don't have a garden, you can make some containers with some beautiful succulents and have a really cool garden by your porch, or on a little deck that you might have if you're in an apartment. And then the fifth top health benefit of gardening outdoors is exercise. So gardening is a great form of exercise, actually, and you might be so engrossed in your work that you don't even realize that you're breaking a sweat because you're lifting heavy things, you're digging, you're bending over, you are stretching, you're pulling weeds, you're reaching for various plants and tools, you're twisting, you're bending, and your plant work will be flexing muscles that maybe you haven't used in a while, and it will help you with your strength and it'll help you with flexibility. So it's really a great stress reliever. And Kaylin says she snuggles her plants daily and it's a beautiful stress reliever. It really is. And so just like we talked about last month when we're talking about all these health benefits, our immune system, our respiratory system, that plants are releasing all these great things, that we're breathing in this oxygen that they're providing us. Guess what? It's happening outside as well. And so just like we try to make our outdoor living space an extension of our inside, like our patios and our decks and our walkways and our, whatever it might be outside, we can do that with plants. And it's a really amazing thing. Now we're going to talk quickly about the top 5 environmental benefits. So there's not just health benefits, but there's environmental benefits too. So the first one's air quality. Plants in the garden, they take in CO2 and they release oxygen. So they're improving the air quality. Plain and simple, super easy, right? Second one, local habitat. Outdoor gardening helps your local habitat of insects and animals that play very important roles in our environment, like bees pollinating and plants, the mulch that you're putting into your garden beds that can help the soil stay in place, and that can reduce erosion, and that can also keep sediment out of your waterways and your drains and your roads. So protecting your local habitat is a very important part of outdoor gardening. Okay, the third one is the collective effort. Just planting your own garden may make you wonder, okay, am I making a difference? But you actually are making a huge difference, because gardening is a collective effort, right? So many small gardens in a community can make a huge difference. And if everyone had a little tiny bit of garden in their yard, then every time you walked by the neighborhood and you were on a walk, you would see that beauty and you would feel calm and you'd be just appreciating it. It's kind of like an art form to appreciate someone's garden. It's the same kind of thing. And so I love that we can just have this collective effort of, once you start to realize that you're making an effort into your garden, and then your neighbors see your garden and they might comment on it, and might be a conversation piece, and they might want to chat with you about their garden. I know one of my neighbors just put in this absolutely incredible garden by her gate and by her garage, and every day I just want to stop my car and just stare at her garden. And I've been tempted to text her and say, can you just send me a picture of your garden, because I am so amazed by it, and I want to, next time I'm out on a walk, I want to just stop and chat with her and ask her to tour me around, because it's so beautiful. And I just love being able to appreciate the plants and the gardening of my neighbors, because that adds to the beauty of our environment as a whole. So the next one, the fourth one, is global warming. So CO2 is a greenhouse gas, right? And that helps to trap heat from the sun on the earth. And too much CO2 can be a bad thing. And global warming is caused by too many greenhouse gases that are making it very difficult for the earth to cool down on its own naturally. So like we covered last month, in the natural process of photosynthesis, plants are taking in CO2 and they're releasing that valuable oxygen molecules. And by investing time in your own garden, you can help that collective effort to reduce the amount of CO2 in the Earth's atmosphere. And again, that concerted effort in areas known to contain higher levels of air pollution and smog can absolutely benefit from this. So if you are in a major city, having a garden on your patio, having a garden in your front walkway, all these things make a huge effort toward the collective effort that we're making with beautifying our earth and trying to be more ecological. So, and then the last and fifth one is wildlife preservation. So it can be easy to forget about all the natural environments that we impact when we alter the planet. And so the earth is composed of small little interdependent ecosystems, and growing a garden can create habitats for some of those smaller life forms, like birds. So if you have a beautiful shrub, or if you have a set of shrubs, birds can take solace in there, and they can have refuge from the heat or from the rain or from the elements. And then birds and insects, aphids, ants, and other species that thrive and reproduce in that ecosystem. Obviously, we don't want ants in our house, but ants have a purpose, and ants have a very important job to do away from where we are, right? And so each creature just plays an important role in helping the environment. And bugs are very necessary for the ecosystem, just like frogs. I love seeing frogs on my porch. I love seeing frogs on the garage. I love seeing frogs everywhere, because they eat the bugs that I don't want to eat me. And so, we can absolutely help deter those bugs, though, from dining on our plants and from dining on us. So that's just a little bit of introduction to some of the reasons that you would garden for your health and some of the reasons that you would garden for just environmental benefits overall. Now, there are two types of soil to just triage a little bit. There are two types of outdoor plants. We're going to talk about soil in a second, but there's annuals and then there's perennials. So you may get confused when you go to the garden center, and so it's important to know those two differences and decide what you want to do. You know, do you want to be buying plants every spring, or do you want to invest in plants that are going to last you season after season and they're going to come back? So annuals are just for one season. Perennials live more than 2 years. So they grow back every spring or summer from their roots that go dormant, and usually when they go dormant, you can just snip them off. That's called deadheading. You can snip them off when they've gone dormant and kind of dried out, and then they start to come back in the spring, and it's really a beautiful sign of the seasons changing, and it's kind of an emotionally cool time, right, to just kind of stop and notice on your walks where the little tulips are coming up out of the soil and where your plants are coming up out of the ground, and you're seeing little buds and little leaves. It's a nice little activity to kind of get into that habit of being aware of your surroundings when you're outdoors too. And I would recommend investing mainly in perennials for your front or your main garden beds if possible. You know, definitely some evergreens that are going to stay beautiful all year round, just so that your garden doesn't look completely barren in the, you know, in the months where those things might not be blooming, like in the colder months in the winter and things like that. But where you want to fill in with plants and with flowers, definitely, you know, you want a garden that's going to thrive year after year with a little bit of maintenance. Not a lot. You really don't want anything super high maintenance. And there's small plants, there's herbs, there's vegetables, there's shrubs, there's small trees, there's climbing plants, there's hanging baskets, there's ground covers. So like something like a succulent, you know, you can do in containers, and you can do large containers, you can just do little babies, you can do whatever kind of size you want. Same kind of thing with the succulents, like the string of bananas. This is a succulent that you can do in a large pot that you can put on your porch, but you can also do this in a hanging basket if you have an area that's like full sun where a succulent would thrive. So just, you know, lots of ideas for you that you don't have to have a huge garden, you don't have to have a mansion or a spacious home with a large yard to be able to have these beautiful plants. And of course you can do succulents indoors as well, but really easy to have some plants outdoors too. Now, it's helpful when you're planning your garden to decide what's going to work best in different spots. And so you want to kind of maybe draw up a little bit of a diagram for yourself. You can take that with you to the garden center and chat with the people that work there. They are really skilled and knowledgeable in this area. That's why they work at the garden center. But think of your outdoor garden, again, like an extension of your indoor space. So like style, decor, color palette, texture, the look and feel. Do you want really colorful flowers like yellow and pink and red and you know, orange, or do you want green and white? Like what kind of color palette are you looking to achieve? And so just like furniture and wall hangings and curtains and accents, plants can take on a similar role for you if you want them to. So that's just a little suggestion there. Now chatting a little bit about garden lighting. For the best success with any outdoor plant, you want to match the plant with the right kind of growing conditions. So again, like we talked about last month with indoor plants, the same kind of goes for outdoor gardening. So which way does your garden face? You want to know which way your garden faces so that you can tell the amount of sun and the amount of shade that it's going to get, okay? So you want to consider that when you're choosing your plants to make sure that they're going to thrive in the conditions that you have. You can download a compass app. Now you can maybe put in the comments if you'd like, if you have a compass app, or if your house faces east or faces, you know, whichever way that your house faces and how that impacts your garden. So what you can do is when you download that compass app, you can stand with your back toward your house wall, either in front of your house or in back of your house, and the reading from there is going to show you the direction that your garden faces. So east facing gardens are like going to be sunny spots, but maybe cooler in the morning. Hardy plants that like shade would be good there. West facing walls and fences that have sun in the afternoon and evening are milder growing conditions. Our front is west facing, so we have a lot of ferns and things like that. And then our backyard is east facing, so plants that like the sun thrive in our backyard and on our deck because it's really bright sun in the morning, and then around 4 o'clock it's all shaded, and then that sun is going in the front. So sunny gardens are easier, but shade does have a lot of advantages, so it's totally up to you. A south facing garden will have sun all day. A north facing garden will have a lot less and almost no sun in the winter time. So you just want to keep an eye on that and look up the kinds of plants that thrive in your native area. First of all, the city and state you're in, the part of the country that you're in, what kind of climate you have. And that's why talking to the people at your local garden center is going to be like your best bet there, or your neighbors with really beautiful gardens. That's a great place to start. Now, lots of plants do love the shade though, so work with what you have. And you always, like I said, use your resources, bring a notepad with you, and maybe observe where the sun is at 8 a.m., at noon, and at 4 p.m. in your garden area outdoors. So maybe do a 360 walk around your property at 8 a.m., at noon, and at 4 p.m. And you can just put a little alarm on your phone one day, and you can do it all in one day. And then the next day, maybe you can take that information with you to the garden center, and they can help you match just a few plants to get started. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. And also I wanted to tell you that you can work with landscape architects. You can hire them to design a low maintenance garden for you and things like that. But you just want to be really careful that whoever you're hiring, that you're really clear with them. If you do not want to be spending hours and hours and hours every week pruning your garden and doing all these things with your garden, you want to make that really, really clear so that you are selecting low maintenance plants for your garden. Okay, like our garden in front, it's almost no maintenance. The only maintenance that we do is we refresh the mulch, usually in the fall and in the spring and in the summer. And then we deadhead our liriape, which are like these kind of grasses. So if you saw my Instagram picture this morning that I was sharing this broadcast, you can see those grasses that are kind of like in a row, and they're all kind of bordering our garden. Those are called liriape, and they're really beautiful grasses. And when they start to go dormant in the colder months, they kind of start to like wither. And right before, I have like a hair that's like tickling my arm, right before the spring starts and all the new shoots start to come up, you want to deadhead them, which is what I was saying before. Just clip them all like really short, give it a haircut. And then there's room for all this new growth to come and happen, and then they look really lush and beautiful and green. So that's just a little tip there. But we're going to switch gears a little bit. Now we've established why the outdoor plants are amazing friends with benefits, and we use the plants, the trees, the herbs and flowers in our doTERRA world distilled down and bottled, right, to support us from head to toe. But we can also enjoy them in their natural form to create the beauty in our outdoor spaces. And we want to find out what conditions that we have to grow. So just like some of our oils, like vetiver is grown in a more desert place, and then frankincense is like growing off a cliff, in the Middle East. And then lavender grows in these beautiful Bulgarian rows of gorgeous farms. There's different conditions and different kinds of soil. And understanding the kind of soil you have will also really set you up for success. So you can Google to find a list of plants that will grow in your geographic location. You just want to type in something like native plants, and then that will help you find plants that are native to your area. But you can also, again, use the local experts at the garden center. What I would recommend doing is bringing a baggie, maybe like a half a cup or a cup's worth of soil from your garden, and you can take that with you, and they actually have soil testing kits that they can test your soil to see if it's pH balanced, if it's acidic or more alkaline. They can tell you if you have clay, and this is really helpful because when you have clay, it might be really challenging to grow a really beautiful garden. And we have clay, and we watched our house be built brick by brick. Every single week we would come and see the house being built and all the dirt and all the rocks that were covered up with sod, and so we knew that we had clay. So when we were getting ready to pull out all the plants that they put in for us because we didn't like them, they were not good plants that would be low maintenance, and they would require a lot, and they didn't really suit us. So we ripped out all of those plants and we rototilled. So you can rent a rototiller if you don't have one, or maybe ask a neighbor if you have one, but I think it was like $150 or something to rent a rototiller for a day or two. But it just tills up the clay, it like loosens it up because the clay is really, really packed down, and so it's going to inhibit the roots to grow and like feel like they're getting moisture and that they can grow healthy. So the rototiller just basically is just bringing up the soil, loosening it, and then we take humus, which is compost, and we live in horse country, so there's lots of horse farms, and there's actually a farm about a mile away that does natural compost with the manure from the horse farm that's next to our development. So we're reinvesting in the habitat of our local area. We're reinvesting and putting those nutrients back into the soil that were depleted. That's how you can build a really beautiful garden in clay. So you're gonna get the rototiller that's gonna till up all the clay, and then you're gonna add the amendment, you're gonna add the compost, you're gonna add that compost in there, and then it's going to be really nutrient rich and dark and dense, and that's when you start to dig and put your plants in. So that's what's going to help you if you have clay soil, and if you're feeling like it's hard for anything to grow. You can't just dig up your clay and put in a plant. It's just not really going to be very successful for you for years to come. So that's just a little tip. But again, these are things that your garden folks can help you with, and that you can also read about in the gardening books that you may find from the library or wherever you may find your books. Now, if you don't have a yard, like I said, if you don't have a yard, or if you have an apartment or a condo, you can use containers in your entryway, in your porch, in your patio. You can use compost, you can use potting soil, you can use all of that. So just like with our succulents in a pot here, we have these in soil. And so you can put this outside in your front entryway. You don't have to have a fancy garden bed to do that. The same with our string of bananas. You can do this with regular soil, and it's super beautiful and fun and adds a lot of beauty. And again, you can choose the color, the look and feel of your decor with your personal style. So, you know, I like the color green. That's my favorite color. I love all shades of green. I like ombre green. I like white. I think it's really nice and it pops. So I like having white and green, and then that really brings the nature inside and outside, and I like carrying that along in my garden. So our garden, we have lavender, but other than that, pretty much all the plants are shades of variegated green, because I just think that's really pretty. So now, of course, where to buy plants for your outdoor garden, just like indoor plants. The best places are the garden centers. So mom and pop, family-owned garden centers is like the best, because these are people that have such a passion for horticulture and gardening. They're really, really knowledgeable. They are so gracious and kind. They're like very just zen, because they're with plants all day. So of course they're relaxed and they're chill, right? But they know a lot of information, and they can really be great resources for you. Home Depot, fine. Lowe's, fine, totally cool. Walmart, also fine. Usually they have a great selection too, but employees are just not experienced there. They don't know about gardening because it's a retail establishment. They don't have to have a background in gardening. They don't need to know anything about gardening. You're not going to have the same kind of experience. So just a little word to the wise, if you have a garden center nearby, always opt for that first and see what they've got, because they will have clear marking for annuals and perennials, and indoor plants will have a greenhouse and everything, so they can totally help you with all that. Now it's time to troubleshoot, okay? So we're going to get into the meat here. Now, while we prepare for our garden, while we want to prepare our garden for like a nice, bright, sunny season, nothing dampers that spirit of your joy than unwelcome pests and fungus. Okay, fungus is the cause of 85% of plant issues. So from aphids to mold, essential oils can help bolster the health of your spring and summer garden. And so before we start our demo, I want to introduce you to our plant's new BFF, Neem. Neem is the not so new kid on the block, but it is something new to me that I have been researching about for a while, and I finally took the plunge because of our Japanese beetle situation. And this is something through my plant research that my essential oil research and my plant research came together in a perfect marriage, and they both found their way to me in separate ways. But neem oil shows up in a lot of essential oil recipes, and it shows up in a lot of plant gardening resources too. So this is a carrier oil. So think of fractionated coconut oil, avocado oil, jojoba oil, almond oil, and neem oil. Think about neem oil when you think about a carrier oil. So neem is going to be in every single blend that we're going to demo tonight, and it's in my Amazon favorites if you need to snag some up. It is a carrier oil. It is not an essential oil, okay? But when you're purchasing carrier oil, you want to make sure that it does not have that it's not been refined, that it has not been heat pressed or anything like that. Just like our oils, we want to be a label reading gangster, and this brand is awesome. It's called Just Trusted Organics. It's ethically sourced and gently harvested from the Azadirachta indica tree by generational rural farmers of the Indian subcontinent, okay? Anyway, neem oil is really awesome. Now, I would love for you to comment below if you've ever heard of neem oil or you've used it. Neem oil, I originally saw this back in 2012, before I even got into oils. I started learning about natural tooth whitener and using activated charcoal. And it's funny because a post always crops up on Facebook where I made activated charcoal toothpaste. This was years before I started using essential oils, just activated charcoal. And then over time, if you've been around for a while, of course, then after my very first Periscope was where I used activated charcoal with spearmint to whiten our teeth. But neem oil is in a lot of organic toothpastes. And I thought that was really neat because I was thinking back like, okay, wow, I think I remember neem oil, yes, okay, now, and it's coming back to me. So lots of skincare products contain neem, natural toothpastes. So I want doTERRA to come out with a neem oil because, especially because this is harvested from the rural farmers in India, I think that would be a beautiful swim lane for doTERRA because we like to come into developing countries and we like to come into rural areas and help support local farmers. So I'm going to be chatting with my account manager about seeing if we can get neem oil into the product line as a carrier. That would be amazing. And I would love for doTERRA to have more carrier oils than fractionated coconut oil, but that's another sidebar for another day. Anyway, back to neem because this is our new BFF and I want you to snag this, but don't leave my Periscope. I promise you'll be able to get it. Don't leave. You can snag this afterward. But neem is one of the strongest champions for your garden that you may not have known. And when we pair neem with our essential oils, it is like a match made in oily heaven, and it's going to be awesome. So neem is a potent insecticide, okay? Check, awesome. Neem can help repel and manage over 200 species of garden-destroying bugs, including aphids, mites, snails, moths, gnats. Not now, Satan, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So we want to get the gnats out of here. We're gonna use neem in basically everything we do. So like neem, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It also acts as an antifungal, okay, that supports our soil and that allows it to remain friendly for birds because birds are super important, friendly for bees because bees are super important, friendly for ladybugs because ladybugs are awesome, and other wildlife. But it's going to be amazing. Yes, neem for prez. It's going to be amazing because it's going to work on the arthropod pests that are eating our vegetables, eating our trees, eating our blossoms, all the things. Hashtag all the things, okay? So neem is basically going to do all the things. You can use neem in your skin serum. You can use neem on your legs. You can use neem from head to toe and in your garden, okay? So neem is going to be something that you are going to be able to use to control the fungus that grows among us, okay, the fungus among us, right? And you'll be using neem or neem in addition to our oils in the evening on your outdoor plants out of direct sunlight or with your indoor plants as well to prevent any mold or fungus or anything like that. But especially the outdoors, we don't want to spray anything during the sunlight, during the day, because that's going to scorch our plants. That's going to scorch and burn them, and we don't want them being burned, right? We just want to nurture them nice and softly. So neem is pressed from the fruits, from the seeds, and from the bark of the evergreen tree that grows in South Asia and India and parts of Africa. And the tree's oil is known in Sanskrit as Sarva Roja Nirvani, which sounds like so awesome and swoon-worthy, right? But that means cure of all ailments. And so neem has long had a history of being used in skincare and medicinal purposes. And because of its nourishing and acne-fighting qualities, it's also a lot of times you will find it in those skincare products, right? And in specialty soaps and in any of those kinds of potions and creams that you might be looking at on the market that are natural. So I'm hoping that, again, one day doTERRA will bring us a neem carrier. That would be amazing. But neem is the best known, it's best known as an organic method for controlling insects and pests. And so that's why we're going to use it in every single one of our sprays tonight. And the compounds that are contained in the oil work in many ways to just get the nasty insects out of here, but it interferes with their reproductive cycle and it inhibits their feeding, and it serves as a repellent and in some of the pests as a contact insecticide. It kills them immediately when they eat it or lick it or are in contact with it. So that's what we want. Now, neem oil is applied as a leaf spray. It's especially invaluable for our indoor plants because 85% of the issues that are happening to our plants are fungus related, okay? Which means you're overwatering your plants. When you're overwatering them, gnat larvae is hanging out down there. That's why you need a drainage hole in your pots, right? So we're taking this baby steps, one little baby step at a time. We're building on all the things we talked about last month with our indoor plants. We're adding that to our outdoor plant love as well. And so we're gonna dig into our demos and you're gonna see why neem is a player in every single one now that you know why. And a little life hack, because this comes in a little squeeze bottle. I just like to repurpose because I've got like 1,000 empty oil bottles. I'm always on the hunt for ways to repurpose them. What I did is I took a 15 ml bottle that was empty and I just had like a little ghetto sticker and I just put neem on it. And this is what it looks like. It's nice and rich and brown and thick. Okay, so I did that so that when I make our little mini sprays tonight, I have precision with the dropper top. But for the larger recipes, you can just squeeze it right out of the bottle. So hopefully, you know, that is a little tip there that you can use if you want to just streamline some of your processes. Now, also a little fun fact, neem oil does not harm the bees. I know I kind of said that real quickly, but I want to make sure that that's super clear. Neem does not harm the bees that land on the leaves that have been sprayed with neem. It's just if you spray the bee itself, obviously that's not healthy, but it's not going to kill it if it's on the leaf that you sprayed with neem. Now for my DIYs, like I said, I like to just pour it in that little dropper top, but whatever brand you can get that, you know, you're using your label reading gangster muscle to get, make sure that you can make it into a way that's going to serve you in a dropper bottle or in, you know, whatever kind of container that is going to be simple for your DIYs, because it's all about making it simple. And if it's too hard and too difficult, we're just not going to do it. So I like having the little mini options, and I'll show you why that's important as we go. So now we're going to get into the fun demo. So I'm going to clear my workspace a little bit. And the first one we're going to make is my garden spray. Okay, so this is an all-purpose pest control spray for your garden overall, just to cover all the bases. It's like an umbrella treatment. It's going to help keep your plants protected and supported against just all the pests and keep your plants looking really healthy. So you're going to grab a 16-ounce sprayer. Now this is what I'm using, and I went ahead and filled up because I'm going to do 3 of these. I filled up the water most of the way just to make it go a little quicker for you, because I want to get you back to your evening and I want to help get this information out to you and it not take 3 hours. So I filled this most of the way up with water because you're going to be filling it all the way up with water, but we want room for our oils and our neem. So in a 16-ounce sprayer, we are going to add our oils first. Okay, so we're going to add 32 drops of oil because we're going to add 2 drops of oil per ounce, and for 16 ounces, we're going to add 32 drops of oil. Okay, so we're going to go through our arsenal of oils. Cedarwood is the first oil we're going to use, so we're going to do 32 drops of oil for that. And that's about 2 droppers worth, okay? So we're going to just go ahead and do 2 droppers of our cedarwood. The next oil we're using in our garden spray here is peppermint. Okay, so we're going to do 32 drops of peppermint, and we're just going to add 2 droppers full because that is about 32 drops. Next, we are adding citronella. And of course, you are starting to see a pattern that many of the oils we use in our bug spray are oils that we're using in our garden spray for the same reason, right? Because just like they repel bugs from our body, we're going to have them repelling our plants as well. Now this one I don't have a dropper top for, so we're going to just count this out. And this is why I love having dropper tops, because it goes a lot faster when you can have that precision with your dropper top. There we go. And that's 32 drops of citronella, okay? And then our lavender. And you are going to have the best smelling garden this side of the Mississippi. Well, whichever side of the Mississippi you're on is going to be this side. And then the last one is lemongrass, okay? And so we're going to add 32 drops of lemongrass, which is about 2 droppers full. That wasn't quite full. Here we go. Okay, and then we are going to add 1 teaspoon of our neem oil. Okay, and so when we're doing a teaspoon, we are going to, we're going to grab our funnel here. When we're doing a teaspoon size, I'm okay with using the little squirt bottle. So I'm just going to take a teaspoon, measuring spoon here, and the neem is nice and thick and rich. Look at that color, it's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to put that right down in there. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of our On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. Okay. So our plants are going to be beautiful, smelling healthy, and nice and clean. So 1 teaspoon of our On Guard Cleaning Concentrate. And then you're going to top the rest with water. Okay? And so like I said, I've gone ahead and filled up most of the way with water. And so we're going to just top that off with our funnel. And we're going to leave a little bit of room for the spray top as well. So always try to keep that in mind, that you want to leave room for the spray top. Okay? And you can get these on Amazon as well. And my sweet friend and oiler, Catherine, if she is still on here, Catherine is a Cricut machine. She is a Cricut wizard, and she has a Cricut machine, and she offered to make these labels for me. And I am so grateful because how adorable are they, right? And she did them in the fun Ray Dunn font because it's just really fun and farmhouse looking and nice and sleek. And I just love these. So Catherine, thank you if you are still watching. Thank you for making these beautiful spray bottle labels for me. And so what I like to do on the bottom is put the little stickers, the cap stickers of the oils that I'm using, so that if I forget or I don't have my phone near me and I need to refill this, I'll have a reminder of the oils that I need. And it's just a nice little tip to get into when you're just starting out. I have all my recipes archived and things like that, so I can access them quickly with a keyword search, but it's really nice to have that little tipper so that, especially if you're giving something for a gift, if you're making a little bundle of garden sprays for someone that is a neighbor, or a little housewarming gift, which this would be a really cute housewarming gift, they will probably want to know what the heck is in there, right? So that's really a little fun tip there. So here's your garden spray. This is all-purpose pest spray, and what you're going to do with this is you're going to mist your leaves either early in the morning before the sun comes up. If you're not awake then I usually am, but if you're not, you can do this after the sun has set, after it is dark, and you can just mist the leaves and mist the soil around the leaves in your garden beds. And you don't need to do it every day, just maybe once a week or so, and then you just kind of want to monitor your garden, and if it looks a little wilty, you want to just be kind of tending to it and making sure that you're not seeing little holes of things taking little snacks out of your plants. So this is our beautiful all-purpose healthy garden spray, and what I'm going to do next week on my Instagram feed is I'm going to be highlighting each of the recipes one by one so that you can go back and find it, and I'll hashtag it so you can find like garden spray HJL or like whatever. So it's really simple for you to go back and find these recipes. So there we have it. Our first is our all-purpose pest control healthy garden spray, and this is just so adorable. Next one is our Fungus Amongus spray, and I just think this was so fun. And when Catherine and I were looking for little icons for these, because you can't see them yet, but I have little minis for every single one of my recipes. So the little garden spray that we did, we have mini versions. That's a little sneak peek. And the little mushrooms are so cute. But anyway, the Fungus Amongus, this is because, like I said, 85% of our plant diseases are fungus related. Fungal diseases can impede the growth of your plants. It'll straight up kill your plants. And we want to avoid that fungus, and we want to use a fungal suppressant. So that is what this is going to do. This is going to be suppressing the fungus among us, okay? So what we're going to do is, and again, we've gotten this almost all filled up with water just to save time, and we are going to add 32 drops of our tea tree, Melaleuca, to our spray bottle. And just like if you've been following me for a while and we've been hanging in this oily world, and you know that Melaleuca tea tree oil is in George's beard oil, and it's in all these other things that we use, it's because it is antifungal. It has so many incredible properties that can be used inside, outside, in the body, on the body, everywhere. It's so great. So tea tree, we are going to add 32 drops of tea tree to our 16-ounce sprayer. And then we are going to add our neem oil. Okay, so we're gonna add neem because neem is our #1, and we're gonna add a teaspoon of neem oil to our Fungus Amongus. So between the neem being antifungal and anti-everything, and then adding the tea tree, it's gonna be just like, boom, powerhouse of awesomeness. Okay, so we've got our funnel in there, and then we're just going to top that the rest of the way. Actually, let me grab my funnel again. We're gonna top that the rest of the way with water, and we're gonna leave a little room for the nozzle. Just like this, okay? We don't want to spill any of our precious liquid gold. And then we've got our spray top right here, okay? And then we've got our Fungus Amongus, and you just give that a little zhuzh. And then of course we have our tea tree sticker, which, hey, little moment of awesomeness that my tea tree sticker matches my nail polish, hello. And this is going to be something that you'll spray your affected plants directly on the soil once or twice a week. So, and again, you don't want to do this in the heat of the sun. You don't want to scorch anything. So just make sure that you do this in the evening time. So this is kind of like a nighttime routine for your plants. Just like you have your nighttime routine, you diffuse and you do all of your things and all your supplements and all that, you can do the same thing with your plant sprays. Okay, so we've got our garden spray, we've got our Fungus Amongus. Then our next one is our Queen Bee, which is just so adorable. Again, Catherine, if you are still out there, thank you so much for all these beautiful labels and these little fun icons, because we want to make it fun. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it. Like, why should we do it if it's not fun, right? So this is just something that I think it's fun to make it like catchy and have a catchy, fun name, so that it's something that we feel motivated and encouraged and that we're enjoying our time when we're doing it, right? So this is our Queen Bee Pollinator Attractor, because a major rippling effect would happen across our entire ecosystem if bees were not around. And bees pollinate more than 100 types of crops in the US. We need to protect them. And bees earn their reputation as busy workers by pollinating billions and billions of plants that we eat every year. And that includes coffee and chocolate and agricultural crops of all kinds. And pollinators like bees play a huge role in 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we eat. So without them, the plants that we rely on for food would die. So we don't want that. So we're going to bring on the pollinators, okay? And that's another reason why we have a huge lavender plant in our front garden. If you've ever come to our home, you've seen it. It's enormous. It's like the focal point. And I love that. And I see bees out there almost every day. And it makes me so proud that we are doing our little part to commit to improving the environment and supporting our pollinators. And the lavender obviously really likes the wild orange because it's enormous. It is the focal point of our garden. I'll have to take a picture of just the lavender and put that in my Insta stories for you guys. But it's really big. It's like this. It's just like, ah, it's awesome. And I hope that you will consider having some pollinator attracting plants in your garden at home. So we again have filled up most of our way up with water just so that we can save time. And then we're going to add 32 drops of wild orange to our Pollinator Attractor Queen Bee Misting Spray. Okay, and we are going to add that 32 drops of oil right in there, which is about two of our dropper tops. And then we are going to add a teaspoon of neem. So you're seeing a pattern here that we're using the same type of recipe, that we're just switching up and tweaking the oils that we're using for that. Okay, and then we are going to fill that up the rest of the way with water. And again, we're going to leave some room for the nozzle. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night wherever you are. Okay, and then we are going to put our nozzle on. Okay, and we are in the home stretch. Now what you're going to do is you're going to shake this blend. And of course, also we've got our wild orange sticker at the bottom. Okay, that doesn't match my nails, but that's okay. You're gonna give this a little zhuzh, and then you're gonna shake and blend this and spray it on your flowers and on the buds of your plants and flowers to attract bees for pollinating. So your lavender plants, any of your flowers that are bright and colorful, you can spray this. Also like hummingbirds, come around and they love the bright red and they love those bright red plants like hibiscus trees and things like that. So any of your bright colored plants, you can spray them with this and that will bring on the pollinators, okay? So in no time, we made our 3 main events, our garden spray, the Fungus Amongus, our garden spray, our Fungus Amongus, and then our queen bee pollinator attractor spray, okay? Now what you can also do is take these blends of oils and you can either spray, if you don't want to spray the garden, you can actually spray the cotton balls and you can tuck these, you can do both, you can do everything, you can do one or another, but you can spray, really moisten a cotton ball and you can tuck this into places underneath your garden and around your garden. In the little nooks and crannies where you see bugs coming out, you can soak these with the spray or just drop the oils right on them. If you wanted to make, if you had like a serious problem like with Japanese beetles or whatever, you could infuse some of them and then just shut the lid on there, and then, you know, over time a lot of the cotton balls would get soaked with that particular blend. Or you can just take one, spray it with whichever spray you're making to target a specific insect, and then you can tuck that away into different nooks and crannies in your garden. So that's another little tip there. Now, what I also want to show you is that I want to show you my pest control command center, because this is a fleet of sprays, and I think this is going to help because not everybody lives in the same climate, and so not everybody's going to have the same kind of pest issues. So this is just like a beautiful thing that might not even fit on the screen. Let me like walk back. Oh, it's so magical and so colorful. Of course, I had to go with the colors of the rainbow. These spray tops are from Got Oil Supplies. These are awesome. They come in like a variety pack, and they're from Got Oil Supplies, but I think you can get them on Amazon too. But these are great for experimenting. These are great for giving as gifts. And my sweet friend Catherine, she made all these little icons with her Cricut machine. It's just like a vinyl cutter, and she made all these little decals for me to label all my things so that they coordinate with, you know, like with the queen bee pollinator. This is a pollinator blend. This is the gardening blend. This is the Fungus Amongus blend that we already made. And then we have some others. So if you have a particular issue, if you have beetles, then you can try this and do a small version before you use all those oils in there. You can try it out. And if it works for you, that's awesome. And you can repurpose all your empty oil bottles. Don't get rid of them. Save them all. Mama Hilsey tells you, save your empties, because we never know what cool magical things that we will make with them. Okay? There needs to be a boomerang like that. Wah! It's a faux boom. Wah! Okay, I'm having too much fun. I can't even. But it is really a great way to experiment and test it out. And you can let your kids get involved with you. And maybe you could take a before picture, and if you have a plant that's been eaten by beetles. And once you try your misting sprays for whatever under the sun that you may have going on, and you can take a little before and after, you can compare. That'll be really fun to do. So we are gonna do these super quickly. This is just a specific pest repellent that we're gonna do to deal with specific isolated issues. And again, if you don't wanna spray things directly, you can just use the little cotton ball trick, and that will help as well. Might not help as much, but you can try it out. So of course, the first one that we have is our Fungus Amongus, and we made that for the suppressing the fungus, and that's got the tea tree oil in there, okay? And because I like to go in rainbow order, of course, we're gonna start with red. So we did that. Then the next one is aphids, okay? And so this is what we're gonna use for aphids. For aphids, we are gonna use 2 drops of cedarwood, okay? So 2 drops of cedarwood, and because this is a small sprayer, we're just gonna use a little bit of oil. So we're just gonna do 2 drops of cedarwood in here for our aphids, and then we are gonna add 2 drops of spearmint, which, where is my spearmint? I don't even see my spearmint. Oh, here's my spearmint. It got lost in the shuffle. Okay, so we've got our spearmint, and we're gonna add 2 drops of spearmint for our aphid blend. So our aphid blend is cedarwood and spearmint. Now we're gonna add 2 drops of neem, and this is where it comes into play of having the neem in a really small repurposed bottle with a dropper, so it makes it a lot quicker and more specific, and you know, so that we don't spill our precious neem oil all over the place. It'll just give you a more precise squeeze there. And then we are going to grab our little baby funnel and fill this up with a little bit of water, okay? and not spill everywhere like I'm doing. Okay, and then we are gonna top that with our misting top. And this is what you'll use for aphids, okay? And so you are just gonna spray any plants that you have with aphids, but a cricket, yeah, that is definitely not my swim lane. I am grateful to pay someone else to make labels for me. So this is for aphids, and what you're gonna do for these specific blends for specific pests is you're gonna spray whatever you might have that if an aphid is eating a particular leaf or a particular veggie or plant, you just wanna make sure that you are spraying it at night, not in the bright sun, not in the morning, in the early morning when it's really bright sun wherever your garden is, or you know, whatever it is. You wanna really focus on doing that at nighttime. So your nighttime routine can be, you can add to your nighttime routine of tending to your garden. So you want to spray your plants and your veggies or anything you have with aphids in the evening time, okay? So the next one is our queen bee pollinator spray. We showed that already. So it's the same oils, it's just the wild orange and the neem with the water, okay? Just in a small version. So that way we can test it out before we use up all those oils, because 32 drops of oil, that's a lot of oil, right? And so we want to make sure, that hair is seriously still tickling my arm. Making sure that we're not, you know, wasting our oils, that we're finding value in them, and that these particular blends are going to work for us before we commit to a larger size, okay? Then the next one is caterpillars. So for caterpillars, we're going to use spearmint and peppermint and wild orange, okay? So the same formula for all these. 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of spearmint, 2 drops of peppermint, and 2 drops of wild orange, okay? So we've got our spearmint here. Here's the spear, and we've got peppermint. And it's nice that a lot of these overlap, again, because if you have pests that, you know, are maybe similar to each other, and the wild orange, then you can combine some of the sprays if you want to, but I like being able to also target them individually, so that if you have an aphid issue and you have a beetle issue, you know, you can just make those two, and you can make them separately, instead of having to, you know, feel like, well, is it working for whatever I'm targeting? You won't know that unless you're using the specific oils. Okay, so we've got 2 drops of neem in here, and we made a little spill. I like a clean workspace, what can I say? And then we are going to fill up with our water, and we'll use this with a spout so it's a little bit more precise there. There we go, and we want to leave room for the spray top. So this is for our caterpillars, and again, you want to spray at nighttime because that's when they are active, and you're going to get those little slimy guys. Okay? And then our next one is our garden spray, and of course this is the same concoction of oils that we made in our larger version. It's just a little mini, and this would be a really beautiful housewarming gift for someone if you know, if they live in your neighborhood or near you and they have a similar issue with bugs that you do. It could be a really nice little gift for them. The next one is ants and spiders, okay? And so ants and spiders do not like peppermint or spearmint. So we're gonna add 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of spearmint, and 2 drops of neem, and top with water. So you're seeing a pattern here, right? That a lot of these bugs do not like the mint family. So if that's why you might see a lot of people in your neighborhood with mint growing in their garden, because, you know, that's a perfect deterrent right there, okay? And then we're gonna add our neem oil in our little handy dropper. This beautiful gem of a carrier oil. And then we're gonna top with our water again. So you can see this pattern, and this is what makes it really fun and simple, that you see it doesn't take a rocket scientist to make these simple blends. You can get your kids involved, super duper fun and colorful, and I always love when it's colorful because it just makes it a lot more enjoyable. Okay, next is our slugs and snails. Many people have issues with slugs and snails in their garden, and this is a great way to harness this naturally. So we're gonna use cedarwood and patchouli and neem. Okay, so 2 drops of cedarwood and 2 drops of patchouli. Those little slugs are hippies. They're gonna smell awesome, right? Patchouli is so nice and grounding. I love it. It's in our Olivia's Oasis blend. We use it every single night. Okay. And then 2 drops of neem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then we're gonna top with our water, just like so. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer so far. I know it's a weird COVID summer, but you know what? We just do the best we can with our situation, and that's all we can do, right? Our next one is ticks, and for ticks, we are gonna use lavender and lemongrass and thyme. So we're gonna use lavender, lemongrass, and it's thyme for thyme, okay? And neem, of course. So we've got 2 drops of lemongrass, 2 drops of lavender, and 2 drops of thyme. Those ticks are gonna be gone, baby gone. And then our neem. Neem is the main event, MVP of the night. And then our little funnel, where did it go? Right here. Top with water. And we are almost there. A little more. Alrighty, and then the next one is gnats, because gnat now, gnat today, gnat tomorrow, gnat ever, gnat today Satan is our gnats. And when we talked about this on Instagram and on Facebook the other day about making sure that our pots have drainage, this is one of the most important things with our plants, is not overwatering them, making sure they're not sitting in pooled water, and making sure that the drainage is right, either outdoors or inside, so that you don't have the attraction of that moisture, so that it's gonna bring the gnats. So for our gnat blend, we're gonna add patchouli, okay, which we just used, and spearmint. So patchouli and spearmint for our gnat blend. 2 drops of spearmint, 2 drops of patchouli. You see that there's some overlap here, which is nice, because it means you don't need 1,001 oils for your garden. And I did blend, put together and curate a custom garden essentials starter kit. It's in my link tree, and you can reach out to me if you would like to have help getting started with that, because you're gonna get $50 in free oils to spend this month when you get started for new customers. So if you're watching this and you don't have oils yet, but this is something that intrigues you, I went ahead and put together all these oils for the garden in a starter kit so that you could take advantage of that $50 credit. So this is for gnats. Top with the water, we've got the patchouli and the spearmint and the neem. And again, you're just gonna spray everything in the evening. Spray it all there, spraying the top of the soil, spraying the leaves, spraying all the things. And then last but not least, my nemesis, the beetles. So for beetles, we're gonna do peppermint. So 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of thyme, because it's thyme for thyme again, and geranium. Now, the cool thing about beetles, and this is something I want to talk to you guys about, is that they hate geraniums. They eat them and they die, which is great, and that's what we want. 2 drops of peppermint as we're chatting, 2 drops of thyme, and then the 2 drops of geranium. So I love this overlap. I love how we can feel so confident about the quality of our doTERRA oils because we know they're pure. We know that there's nothing else but geranium in here, and we know it's really potent. So just like we're gonna use geranium in our beetle blend, we can also harness it in its true natural form of the plant. So when I found this out, I was doing research and I found out, because I've been on this hunt to get rid of our beetle issue and save my hibiscus tree. And I read that they eat beetles the beetles eat the geraniums and they die. I thought, this is great. We're gonna not only add geranium to our beetle blend, oh, and I forgot the neem because we're chit-chatting, but that you can just get the plants themselves, 2 drops of neem in there. And so when I went to the garden center earlier this week, the geraniums were half price. It was good juju, it was an omen, and the universe was shining down on me saying, you know what, those beetles are gone. They cannot stay here, they gotta bounce. So our beetle blend is thyme and peppermint and geranium, because geranium is the secret ingredient for getting the gnats out of here. And guess what? Since I put the geranium, so I bought 9 geraniums because Mama Hilsey doesn't do anything small. Mama Hilsey does full out. I put 6 geraniums around the hibiscus and then 3 geraniums by the garage because they have to fly past the garage to get to the hibiscus. So I have not seen a beetle on my hibiscus since. I am in hibiscus rehab for rehabilitating my hibiscus tree. And every single night I spray it with the Grow Girl Mist because I've been experimenting, and I spray it with this combo also. And I've not seen a beetle in a couple days. So that is progress, and I'm seeing new growth. That's also progress. So here we have our full-on Rainbow-licious combo pest control command center. This is awesome. This makes my soul happy. I love the colors. I love the functionality. I love that you can customize this, that if you have a specific bug in your area that you are dealing with, you can get that out of here quickly. So tonight we made our garden spray. We made our queen bee pollinator attractor. We have so many good things here. And we made our Fungus Amongus. Now, we are gonna wrap it up with a fun fact. Did you know that Epsom salt is not just good for your bath and for your sore muscles and all those things? Epsom salt is awesome for your garden. And so I have a little fun surprise for you. Garden glitter. Behold, it's garden glitter, okay? So we're not just gonna use magnesium for our mocktails or our baths or all the other things that we do with magnesium, but we're gonna put magnesium in our garden. You guys, like, I've been talking about magnesium being my favorite thing, my favorite mineral since probably 2015. And now it's even more so my favorite mineral because I can use it in the garden. So it is really cool. You can keep a mason jar of Epsom salt or a bottle, empty mason jars, whatever you've got, empty anything you have, and keep this in your garden bin, in your garage or wherever, and you can infuse it with any of the oil blends that we made tonight for any particular bug issue. And then you're just gonna sprinkle it over your garden soil, and the soil will appreciate the magnesium boost because it'll pH balance your soil too. You guys, like, this is so cool. I'm like blown away that magnesium can do so many things. It really is the super mineral that I know and love, that I have been knowing and loving for years, but even more now, we can use that garden glitter on our soil. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna sprinkle this all over your garden bed. No, not a huge thick layer, just a nice sprinkling, a nice dusting of magnesium, maybe once every other week or so, if it's looking a little limp and looking a little sad. But you don't wanna overdo it, of course, either. So just a little sprinkling, and maybe wait 2 or 3 weeks and put a recurring thing on your calendar to just take a look at it and see. But how awesome is that? I thought this was such a little fun fact. You can impress your friends with that little nugget that magnesium is awesome for your garden, okay? So we covered a lot of ground here. You can always come back and watch any of the parts that you might have missed. Reach out anytime with any of your garden questions. I hope you found this helpful and empowering. A few little housekeeping items. We do have $50 in free oils for any new members this month that want to get started with oils. So if you're watching this again and you want help getting started and bringing these oils into your home, I'd love to support you. Reach out to me and we'll have a conversation and we'll help you find a way to get started that resonates with what you want to do with oils. Ginger is also 10% off all month long. It's very spicy and delicious. I love it. And then fennel is free until next Wednesday, the 15th. So reach out if you need help. If you have any garden questions, if I don't know, I can hopefully refer you to someone or somewhere that can answer those questions for you. And like I said, I bundled all of these oils that we use tonight into a starter kit. So if you want to get started and you want to have all the oils that we showed tonight, you will be able to do that. You'll receive an invitation to my private essential oil community called Empowered by Oils. All the research, all the demos, all the posts I've ever shared since 2014 are all there in one place. You'll also get a copy of the Essential Life Book, which, like I said, has a section in its entirety all about outdoor garden pests, and it covers a broad summary of all the things that we talked about tonight. Also, do not forget to enter yourself into the giveaway for the Beginner's Gardening Guide. I am so excited to see who is going to win a copy of this. And I will see you next on August 1st, Saturday, August 1st, for the new promotions of August. And then my next Periscope broadcast will be on Thursday, August 6th. Thank you as always for holding space for me. I can't wait to see how you start enjoying your outdoor garden and your plant friends inside and out. Be sure, like I said, to enter the giveaway before 10 p.m. Eastern. and I am so excited to see who wins. So that is a wrap on Periscope broadcast number 210. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you are able to kick all the fungus among us to the curb, as well as all your other garden pests, and I can't wait to see all the photos of before and afters and how your garden is looking, and it's going to be super awesome to know that we are sharing this collective joy inside our houses and outside. Okay, so I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a good night.